Welcome. My name is Christopher Paolini, and I'm going to be reading an excerpt from the epically bad fantasy story, The Eye of Argon by Jim Theis. This has been one of my particular favorites over the years, so I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Here goes. The weather-beaten trail wound ahead into the dust-racked climes of the barren land which dominates large portions of the Norgolian Empire. Age-worn hoofprints smothered by the sifting sands of time shone dully against the dust-splattered crust of earth. The tireless sun cast its parching rays of incandescence from overhead, halfway through its daily revolutions. Small rodents scampered about, occupying themselves in the daily accomplishments of their dismal lives. Dust sprayed over 3 heaving mounts in blinding clouds, while they bore the burdensome cargoes of their struggling overseers. "Prepare to embrace your creators in the Stygian haunts of hell," gasped the first soldier. "Only after you have kissed the fleeting steed of death, wretch," returned Grigner. A sweeping blade of flashing steel riveted from the massive barbarian's hide-enameled shield as his rippling right arm thrust forth, sending a steel-shod blade to the hilt into the soldier's vital organs. The disemboweled mercenary crumpled from his saddle and sank to the clouded sward, sprinkling the parched dust with crimson droplets of escaping life fluid. The enthused barbarian swiveled about, his shock of fiery red hair tossing robustly in the humid air currents, as he faced the attack of the defeated soldier's fellow-in-arms. "Damn you, barbarian!" shrieked the soldier, as he observed his comrade in death. A gleaming scimitar smote a heavy blow against the renegade's spiked helmet, bringing a heavy cloud over the accordion's misting brain. Misting brain. Shaking off the effects of the pounding blow to his head, Grigner brought down his scarlet-streaked edge against the soldier's crudely forged hauberk, clanging harmlessly to the left side of his opponent. The soldier's steed whinnied as he directed his horse back from the driving blade of the barbarian. Grigner lashed his mount... Lashed? Leashed. Grigner leashed his mount forward, as the hoarsely piercing battle cry of his wilderness-bred race resounded from his grinding lungs. A twirling blade bounced harmlessly from the mighty thief's buckler as his rolling right arm cleft upward, sending a foot of blinding steel rippling through the Cimmerian's exposed gullet. A gasping gurgle from the soldier's writhing mouth as he tumbled to the golden sand at his feet and wormed agonizingly in his deathbed. Grigner's emerald-green orbs glared lustfully at the wallowing soldier struggling before his chestnut-swirled mount. His scowling voice reverberated over the dying form in a tone of mocking mirth. "You city-bred dogs should learn not to antagonize your better." Reining his weary mount ahead, Grigner resumed his journey to the Norgolian city of Gorzam, hoping to discover wine, women, and adventure to boil the wild blood coursing through his savage veins. The trek to Gorzam was forced upon Grigner when the soldiers of Krynn were leashed upon him by a faithless concubine he had wooed. His scandalous activities throughout the Cimmerian city, had unleashed throngs of havoc and uproar among its refined patricians, leading them to tack a heavy reward over his head. He had barely managed to escape through the back entrance of the inn he had been guzzling in, as a squad of soldiers trounced him. after spilling a spout of blood from the leader of the mercenaries as he dismembered one of the officer's arms. He retreated to his mount to make his way toward Gorzum, rumored to contain hordes of plunder, and many young wenches for any man who has the backbone to wrest them away. Although that does sound like he's about to steal the backbones of those young wenches rather than anything else. So that is a small taste of The Eye of Argon by Jim Theis, and you're lucky I got through that without bursting into laughter. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you want to read more of this astounding masterpiece, I encourage you to seek it out on the internet. Thank you for donating to Worldbuilders, and have a great day.
Okay, time for take 5.
Bond. James Bond.